Hello again everybody, welcome back to another video, again in the UK, this time on an industrial estate in Doncaster in North England, and I'm here for a private tour with a friend of the Roundhouse Engineering factory. So without any further ado, let's take a look inside. So when you come through the main door, you step straight away into the reception area.
That might be too dark, so I suspect it's that one, if anything.
In the middle of the room there's a test track.
The place over here where the oil, steam oil is...
And on the other side of that reception area, we've got their main display of their current models and a reception desk and office in the back.
Not got any records of
I think it's too dark. It is more special color.
So the actual tour's now going to start. So just remember, I was listening to him more than I was keeping hold of the camera. But it's a good tour anyway, and I hope you find it interesting.
Unit 10.
Unit 10.
Here.
Okay.
One of the sort of the last units to be added to the factory when we sort of expanded over time.
Yeah.
Into the unit side by side where we started. But in here we're doing diesel series locomotives.
Yeah.
This is sort of a one-man band that does this in Joe. So
Yeah.
does all the chassis work, building up, bending and soldering the bodywork.
Okay.
And then it gives it over to one of the painters to be painted up before he's then doing the fine, I'd say, in a little bit.
Okay.
Before the bodywork is put on them.
It's all these bits here. This white metal bits.
New machine, introduced this year.
So these are Harlech Castle chassis,
Okay.
but he is working currently on the Conway Castle, the new Loco, doing the very first batch of those. So yeah, you can see there all the white metal castings that he's got ready for Conway Castle.
Yeah.
All there prepped and fettled,
Yeah.
ready for assembly onto the
Okay.
Loco.
All right.
Behind you there you've got Tony, who's one of our pressure vessel producers.
Okay.
Does
Morning.
boiler,
Do you mind if I film when you're doing your stuff? Thank you very much.
boilers and gas tanks, as well as pipe work, silver soldering, and a variety of other components for both the classic series and the diesel series locomotives.
Okay.
You can see there he's pressure testing boilers that he's just made. Every boiler that we make is pressure tested to, what is it, Tony?
Yeah, boilers are 100 and gas tanks are 500 psi.
Yeah. So that's double the operating pressure or something, isn't it?
Just a bit more, yeah.
Just a bit more, okay.
Run at 40, but we do tank, boilers at 100 and the gas tanks are 500.
Yeah, gas tanks 500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully no leaks.
Well, I've never had a leak with the 6 locomotives I've got, so you're going on the right track.
You best sit here then.
I better sit there.
No, I'm alright. I'd want to do every now and then, but usually alright, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have different size boilers for different locomotives?
Yeah,
They're not all standard boiler sizes?
2 inch, we do 1 inch and 3/4, and we do one just a bit bigger than 2 inch.
Yeah.
57 mil or something like that.
Okay.
But usually 2 inch are the common ones, and then 1 inch and 3/4. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And do you put soap around the joints, or how do you do that?
No.
Just put the water in, pressure up, and see if it leaks.
We have sealed and gasket seals and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fibre washers, things like that.
Yeah.
that's good enough for what we need them for.
Okay. Okay, thanks very much.
you're
Silver
welcome.
soldered joints, so
Yeah.
you know, if anything around there leaks, certainly will become quite quickly
Okay.
obvious. So you can see a lot of the components to one side ready for the budget series and diesel series.
Okay.
All these are all Joe's components, so
Yeah.
ready to go.
Oh, these are all. Okay.
Yeah, so tested and then painted boilers for his basic series locos.
Oh, okay. So my Bertie was born here
Yes.
back in
Back in
2018.
2018 when it was.
Now probably moved the boiler in the gas tank here.
You probably did the boiler in the gas tank for me, yeah.
What year would it? What year did you
2018.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So Harry, he's the bodywork man for the classic series locomotives.
Okay.
So at the moment he's working on Taliesin components.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's your etches.
That's the etches. So it's a photo etch process, and we get these out from out of house from another UK
A supplier.
supplier.
Okay.
This is a George. No, sorry, beg your pardon. It's Linda. Linda
Okay.
The
Tenders
new one. Yeah.
for the new one,
Okay.
which is coming up very shortly.
Yeah.
But you can see there where all the rivets are hand pushed through.
Yeah.
And so they're half etched, and then Harry will push them through on that that press behind you
Hello.
there, that red press.
Okay.
So that's a large number of rivets per
So
loco.
he's got to do all them rivets by hand,
Yes,
one at a time.
one at a time.
Hope they pay you enough.
Well, I've been here 7 years, I've done over
You've
a
been-
million.
Okay. All right.
1,000,000 rivets.
1,000,000 rivets.
I think you've counted up how many rivets per engine, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm
Just
that sad.
So how many rivets is the new Linda getting on? The getting then, do you know?
My book is
Can I-
Linda 249.
249 rivets
Yeah.
on the body and tender.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many Lindas are you going to be making here?
So we're up to about 80, nearly. We're approaching the 100 mark of them. So
Yeah. Orders. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
it's
No, we-
proved very popular.
When we were on our way, it must be a hell of a job to find out which kind of locomotive you are going to build next year. First of all, it should be, let's say, in the range or the model that you are producing, the chassis and everything. But how do you know that people want a specific machine?
So we do ask people what they want. So
Yeah.
when you buy a new loco,
I've never had a survey
Well,
taken.
you will have on the blue warranty cards.
Oh, yeah.
that we send with every loco. Half of it that we ask people to return to us
That's
to extend
right.
the warranty. It does
That's
say
right.
what would you like us to provide next.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we get a lot of those back, saying a lot of different locos. Some of them bizarre and
Yeah.
completely out of
Yeah.
what we would ever do. But then we had a large number of them coming back over the past couple of years with asking for Linda. So we knew it was a loco that was in demand, and we do like to listen to what the customer wants. So
Yeah.
we reworked it, rejigged it, and brought it back afresh.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we do pay attention to what people ask for,
Yeah.
provided there's enough people asking for it. But
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
going to start doing 5-inch gauge, which is or some random one-off loco that
Yeah.
only they've ever heard of.
Yeah.
So for
Okay.
example, the Darjeeling Sea, how do you know, hey, this is the machine that we have to build?
So railways like the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway or the Festinol Railway, we know that there's a large amount of interest in those
Yeah, yeah.
railways because they've had, they're very historic lines that
Yeah.
people know of and are still running today. So anything from the Darjeeling line is always going to be a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
Same with the Festinol Railway, really. So we knew
Okay.
that we wanted to do something from the Darjeeling
Yeah.
Railway. So
So the
Yeah.
only one
C-class.
missing is the Darjeeling A.
Darjeeling A class. It would be nice to add that one to the range to complete the alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people ask for that one. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Well, keep stamping.
How many stamps a day?
How many stamps a day?
Oh,
Depends
that
on the
depends how many
engine.
coffee breaks you have, I think.
You have to be very precise. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
let's say if you got number 240 and it's going wrong,
There's a knack, isn't it? For the
There is
right
a
knack.
pressure,
There's a knack.
and you get into the swing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can rattle through them when you get into the rhythm.
yeah. Oh, you've got all sorts here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
usually 2 or 3 sheets per loco
Yeah,
make up one loco.
yeah,
So it's why people sometimes ask, oh, have you got this one spare etch part? It's like, not really, because if we give you that one spare etch part, we've then got the rest of the sheet of etchings
Yeah.
that we can't use.
Exactly.
If we're giving you that one part. So although we like to try and help people with spares, it really does depend what we've got on the shelf here.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
good.
Thankfully with your Dylan, we ordered in a couple of Dylan spares, you know,
Yeah.
for the eventuality of anything
Yeah.
going wrong. So
Yeah, yeah.
that was alright.
Yes, it was.
So we can't go into the spray rooms, we can put them through the sort of door. So we've got 2 spray rooms
Oh.
in.
Can I
so you can
look?
look through there, it just can't get sort of
Okay.
going to be a bit more misty. So 2 spray rooms.
That's new because last time I was here there was just
Yes,
one.
this is sort of a new unit. This
Okay.
section that was built in.
Yeah,
So, using the same sort of technique as the automotive process, 2-pack paints
Yeah.
over either a yellow or grey primer.
yeah. Etching primer.
Sort of etching primer.
Yeah,
The bodywork gets bead blasted first to key the surface,
yeah.
then primed and then glossed.
Okay.
And we've got a nice big oven in there as well for,
Yeah.
for baking the parts afterwards
Yeah.
to bake harden the
Yeah.
paint on.
Dust-free environment and all the rest of it.
Yeah, so because it's 2-pack paints, it is isocyanate paints, so it isn't the stuff you use at home. So it's all air-fed masks in there,
Yeah,
and fully extracted
Yeah, yeah.
spray booths as well.
Yeah.
Which is all the big
Yeah.
units got up there.
Yeah.
Just pulling everything out.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Yep.
See there, what Tony was saying earlier, they've got all the boilers sort of CNC machines ready for silver soldering and then pressure testing. So the holes will be done in a jig on the
Yeah.
CNC machine, so that they're put in the
Yeah.
the
Okay.
right places.
And the LIN is for Linda name,
Yes.
I assume.
It is.
Okay. Okay.
So you can see there we've got sort of stock ready for
For welding.
lot of stuff coming up.
Can I touch one? You're right.
Yeah. That's one of our,
So this one's pressed in, ready for welding now.
yeah.
Okay.
So that'd be a Garrett
This is a Garrett.
boiler. So it's just ready for the flue tubes
Okay.
to be dropped in.
Yeah. So I've got one like this in my. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, silver soldered together. Sort of one big bays back there.
Yeah.
Again,
The silver solder doesn't actually contain any lead, and the reason they wear the air-fed masks whilst soldering is to protect them from the fumes from the flux and from the overall heat in the room while they're on the job soldering. Okay. Okay. I think if I remember last time there was an older gentleman and he did nothing else but just soldering the boilers and that all day long.
Yes, he's still here.
Oh, he's still here, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Still just silver soldering boilers together all day.
Okay.
But he's a sort of similar role to Tony doing.
Okay.
Parts rumblers, so any steel components or brass components that sort of exterior and will be seen get rumbled, so it's just bits of ceramic rumbling material
Okay.
with a bit of water in there,
Yeah.
just, you know.
Sort of cleans any sort of sharp edges off it.
Yeah, and brings up a bit of a shine to the material as well.
Oh, okay. Okay. Down some more stairs.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is the main machine shop. So the CNC and automated process of being done.
Okay.
Doing here like the sync-on, producing so that's the quarter 40 glands that will be on regulators, gas regulators, anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So producing maybe hundreds of those over the course of the day.
So you just sort of make a sort of work planning. So today it's Tuesday, so we're going to do so many hundred of them.
An order will come down to the machine shop. We need these. They'll book it in. Try and book it in so that they have to change the tooling or material as little as possible.
Yeah.
So that it can be batch produced in the most efficient way. Doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes we need something a bit quicker and have to break down the machine and to fit it in.
So this is all part of the deal to try to get as most of the stuff that you make it in-house instead of relying on outside suppliers.
This is it. As much as we can do in-house and to control that quality, that's always our aim.
Okay.
To either produce it in-house or send it out to another UK company if we can. So again, we've got that contact with the company.
Yeah.
Like the etchings you saw earlier, they're done by a company in the West Midlands who we're constantly in communication with to make sure that they're to the standard we need and coming through when we need them as well.
Okay. Just, perhaps may seem a bit of a strange question, but I'm just wondering if besides the sales of your products, did you have problems in the COVID period from your suppliers? Because I know I also talked to some other people that make stuff for locomotives in our scale, and they've said our suppliers, they went bust.
Right. I mean, there was an impact. Material costs certainly went up.
Yeah, okay.
Like raw materials, brass specifically, and in size, the weird size that sometimes we use, they shot up just because a lot of the brass these days does come from abroad.
Yeah.
So when China sort of shut down, it impacted on that. Global shipping obviously got impacted.
Yeah.
So we did see a shortage of supply, especially for like electronics, RC components, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was really for some period quite hard to get hold of.
Okay.
Thankfully, we are in the habit of ordering stuff in bulk, so we managed to kind of just ride it out to the point where we were able to sort of get it back in again.
Yeah. Okay.
So we were quite lucky in that regard.
All right.
All the stuff is coming out of the UK or electrical parts also imported from China?
So, because of the quantities we need them in, RC sets and electrical components like that do come from China. We order them from a UK distributor, but the RC sets are coming from your usual model RC set
for
suppliers.
example, the anti-crack machines, they are all built in China.
Yeah, the locos and stuff like that are all built in China, but all locos from Roundhouse are built here.
Yeah.
But electronic components, there's only so much you can do for the quantities we need.
Okay.
So a bit of a souvenir for each of you.
Oh, thank you very much.
A glands. Quarter 40 Union.
Well, we'll put it on a chain and around a neck.
So you can see there something that they've been producing. So that's the Linde cylinder stretcher. It's a quite
cylinder
a lot
stretcher. What's that? What's a cylinder stretcher?
So that's basically where on most locos you've got the cylinders external on outside the frame, and where you've got the valve chests, we turn the pistons inwards, and then that valve chest becomes this on the inside.
Oh, okay.
So your cylinder block will be on the outside of that.
Yeah.
And then on the inside of here, you'll have your two moving slide valves on top of there.
Yeah.
So it's just moving it internally.
Okay.
As part of the inside valve gear.
Okay.
So you'll have a valve.
So this is really, you can say this is a sort of standard component for your locomotives that work via an inside valve gear.
Yes. Yeah. Similar setup for a lot of them that are using that inside valve gear.
Yeah. Okay.
So all to inside. Exhaust plate underneath.
Yeah.
But they do work out ways to sort of work through them to be the most efficient way of making sure they're drilled. But it does have manually.
Yeah.
The machine will do one operation. He has to go in, turn it over, the machine will do the next
Yeah,
operation.
yeah. Oh, he has to turn it
again.
over, or the machine turns it over?
He the operator.
Oh, the
has to
operator.
turn it over.
Yeah.
So when we're doing cylinders, say, you'll have a jig that's got 4 different positions,
Yeah.
and the block will start on one side.
Yeah.
The machine will do that operation as well as the next subsequent 3, but
Yeah.
then the operator has to come in and move the block over onto the next
Okay,
space.
and you have to make sure it goes in the exact correct place when he mounts it again, I suppose.
Yeah, but
that's part of his job.
part of the jig that sort of fits it in position. But
Okay.
it will move it down the line.
Yeah.
But the machine still saves time because it's still doing it. You know, it's still able to replicate that process
Okay.
over and over again.
Yeah, okay. All right.
It's a lot of the older.
Oh, lathes and so on, a milling machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still got a lot of the old milling machines. I mean, that was used for still used for fly cutting dough occasionally. And these capstan lathes still used for like wheels and stuff, where it's just simpler to do it on
Okay.
these.
But what about when you're if you've got a prototype or something, when you're figuring something out, do you make it first on that, or?
So yeah, the designer, because he's a machinist by hobby himself, still he
Yeah.
will still probably just produce it by hand.
Yeah.
And from there they'll work out the
production
programming.
process.
Yeah,
Programming,
production
yeah.
process and the
Okay.
program for the machine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Watch your step for the cables.
Yeah.
So you can see the bar feed as well. That feeds into the.
Oh, it's a feeder.
Yes. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
3 metre cut.
Okay.
2 metre bars being fed into that machine.
Okay.
Huge investment there.
Yes, would have been the time. The newest one I think is that sits the Haas lathe machine there. And that was like 10 grand around about that. It wasn't anything to do except that the machining processes that we do, we're not necessarily at cutting edge. You know, we don't need the cutting edge technology, but
More the fine, precise work. Yeah.
yeah, it's still lets us do just watch your step.
Oh. Watch your step.
Small spray roof just for doing small components for the local lads.
Okay.
And here we've got the
white metal
casting room for white metal castings.
Okay. So these are the castings themselves.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
these are the casting moulds.
Okay.
So, got the white metal pots there.
Yeah.
The machine next to it on its left. So it's centrifugal process.
Yeah.
So the white metal's dropped into the centre, and then the moulds spun.
Yeah.
So it spins the white metal to the outsides
Okay.
of the
All
mould.
done by yourself.
All done in-house. So this white metal castings tends to be for detail components on our locos.
Yeah.
Stuff that's not going to get too much of a battering.
Yeah.
Anything that is a hardier casting, that's done by lost wax casting.
Okay.
Or investment casting as it's called. And
Yeah.
that we get from some of the UK companies.
Okay.
Again in the Midlands, I think.
Yeah. So these are examples of
Yeah, so they're
what's been
examples of white metal
produced.
Castings. So like the line side accessories, they're done in white metal.
Yeah.
It's become easier to do it in white metal these days because of 3D printing. The designer's got a 3D printer in his office.
Okay.
He can produce samples that we can then turn into the white metal casting moulds. So you can see
Okay.
down there all the discontinued locos moulds.
Yeah.
We've still got them.
Yeah.
We still keep them just on the off chance that we need anything.
Yeah. Well, it's part of sort of reputation you guys have of your service to people.
This is it. We still keep them. If anybody ever wanted a Beth Gellert tank filler because theirs is broken, we could probably do one for them.
Yeah.
Provided they didn't mind waiting until we were doing a batch of castings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how are these castings made?
So it's a rubber silicon mould.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 parts, and then they place the components within it.
Yeah.
They're pressed together and it's vulcanised.
Okay.
To harden it.
Okay.
Basically, and then it's recut. You cut round it
Yeah.
to release it. I think
Okay.
they do put like things like this in as well to help locate it.
Yeah. So make
And
sure
then-
everything's lined up.
Yeah, and then once it's cut apart, that's when you add in the channels.
Yeah.
For the white metal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very sort of specialist work, I would have thought.
It's quite specialist. It helps to do it in house. So again, we've got control over that quality.
Oh, and sorry, in the rack here, this is all the current range.
Yeah, this is all current stuff. So anything we're doing at the moment will be on
On
here.
this shelf. Yeah.
As well as keeping up, we've got all the masters down there as well. So we keep all the original prototype masters
Yeah.
as well.
And to make sure that the door doesn't open too much, you've got more behind here as well.
But
There's a door stop.
just yeah. I mean they're probably really old stuff. I don't think we've used red silicon for a while now. So
Okay.
Really old. I mean we've got like Mark 1 Sandy River stuff and
Okay.
we don't throw stuff away. That's
No, okay.
Sometimes it's to our detriment, sometimes it's to our benefit.
Yeah.
Pressure vessel producers and testers. There's Mark, the older gentleman that you mentioned before, still here producing gas tanks and boilers for the classic series locos. And there, lots of chassis sort of ready,
Okay.
painted to go.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
into the main loco workshop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is Malu. He's a chassis.
Hello.
Morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Hello.
Morning. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you.
So he produces all the chassis for our classic series locos.
Yeah.
So he will assemble, finish the time, do the timing, and test all the chassis himself.
Okay.
So there's a lot of components to keep track of.
Yeah.
But all the good running and good timing of our locos can really be put down to Marlu.
Okay.
'Cause he does
And that's
fantastic
reflected in
job.
his wages, I suppose, is it?
I hope he agrees. We treat him to other things as well.
Yeah. Do you dream of chassis at night in bed or what? If you
Before.
do this day in, day out.
Before, when I'm new here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's all right.
Otherwise, it's all right now.
Yeah.
How long have you been here now, Marley? Have you been 2000, early in 2007?
18 years, 17 years, 2007.
2007.
Sorry, 17.
Okay. 17-ish? 17-ish?
17 years.
Enough.
Going on 18 years.
You've got your own coat hanger.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know what we do without
That's
it.
die basis there, the base.
Oh yes, that's
What
the
you
cylinder
make.
structure we saw.
Oh yeah, that's that chassis. Yeah, we've seen that in the other. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
So we've got and all sort of components ready to go on to its
Oh yeah, good.
chassis bits and pieces. But any chassis that Marlu builds up, he does run on air for
Yeah.
a number of hours in forward and reverse. You can see there Linda chassis
Okay.
being tested.
Yeah.
So you can see there that again that cylinder stretcher with the valve chest now in place
Yeah.
and on top.
Yeah. A question. The run on air, right?
They do.
Do you have a feed into that air of steam oil?
We do.
Oh, you do. Okay.
So yeah, it's taking a little bit of steam oil with it. I believe back in the very early days they did used to run them on steam. They had a boiler.
Oh, all right.
But I think it blew up.
Okay.
So they stopped doing that. It got to a point where they realised it was a bit dangerous to have a boiler constantly boiling water. So they're done on air now, but it does still help the chassis bed in. Again, this helps that smooth running.
Okay. And these are Linda chassis?
They are, yes.
Okay.
So we're starting the very first batch of Linda
Yeah.
shortly.
Oh God, you've got more under here as well.
So
These are completed then or something?
they're completed. So down there is the Katies that they're currently working on, as well as the Taliesin power bogies ready to go. So what the lads do, they'll take a T card off the board that's just through there on the other wall.
Yeah.
That'll have a customer name on it,
Yeah.
as well as a chassis number.
Yeah.
So they'll take the chassis, and from there, the local lads down here, Itchy, Bob and Dan,
Okay.
be responsible for building the loco from the chassis upwards
Okay.
until completion. So the loco will have a test run with the gas tank and boiler on for the first firing to check it fires and is running okay.
And the builder will do that test?
Yeah, builder
Okay.
will do that test, and then they'll have a second test when all the bodywork's on just before it's completed. To just check it over again, and then it will also be checked over by another member of staff as a second pair of eyes.
Okay. Yeah, that's logical, yeah.
Yeah.
Can quite understand that.
And then when the loco's finished, they do check it over again, just to check the cosmetics of it, check there's nothing amiss, nothing's been missed off.
Okay.
So throughout the process, there's stop checks to check that things have been things are okay, really.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just have a
Yeah.
look over Bob's shoulder.
At the moment, they're working on a batch of Katies
And Billy's.
and Billies.
Yeah.
What's this one?
This is a Billy.
Oh, Billy. Okay.
Actually, I have a tender with it as well. Billy tender. A black Billy with red flames.
Yeah.
With a black tender with red flames.
So this is a custom build on.
Yeah, it's still a classic Billy, but someone
Yeah.
requested the red flames.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the freelance locos, we're often quite sort of okay to have people request,
Yeah.
if they want something a little bit different to them. As long
Yeah.
as they can always ask, as long as they don't mind us
Yeah.
saying no if we can't do
Well, when I ordered my Billy, I asked you guys where you could do the coupling rods in red, and you had no problem at all.
it. Yeah, exactly. This is it. So we recently announced that we could do 060 versions of the
Yeah.
Billies and Katies, and I think
Yeah,
this
I've
is
seen
the
that.
first batch after we did that. So there's an 060 Katie or Billy chassis leaning up against there.
There, Alex.
Okay. Oh, did you say there's a completed one on there?
Yeah. I thought it was on April 1st.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this is an 060 Katie. Okay.
So that's near completed, or is pretty much completed.
And when are these released to sell?
Yeah, so they're probably already sold. So we tend to only produce locos to order.
Yeah, all retired, yeah?
Yeah, that's Roger and Chris up there that were the founders of the business. Took full retirement back in May of last year to enjoy their retirement to the fullest.
Yeah.
That these lads run on,
Yeah.
as well as the gas testing machine on the back as well, which is just to test the
That's
gas
there with
levels
the-
are right.
okay.
Yeah, with the red numbers on it.
What do you mean that the gas levels are right?
So they're checking for carbon monoxide levels.
Oh, okay.
To be below 2%
Yeah.
to pass. If it's higher than that, it just shows that the burn is not quite set up right. So
Oh, okay.
It's changing.
Okay. All right.
So that's usually done on first run.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
So sort of polishing wheels and inches.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
all-
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're all sort of ready to go.
Yeah.
Say they're working on Billies at the moment. So usually batches of 10 to 20, depending on the popularity and demand of the loco.
Okay. So a batch is 10 to 20,
Yeah.
depending on. Yeah. Okay.
Some of the locos, like the Garrett, they count for like 2 locos. So maybe you only do a batch of 5 of those, because that's like
Yeah.
doing a batch of 10.
You put a film on YouTube, not so. Oh no, that was with the Fairley, I think.
The double fairly.
So
yeah.
how long it took to build a Fairley? And you speeded up filming or something. It was, wasn't
The
it?
stop motion
Yeah.
time lapse one.
Yeah. Time lapse. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the job? Black one. Nice.
Okay. So this is a black KT 060.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got the 060 chassis on the bottom on this one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad to see you've got untidy workbench.
Yeah,
I can't work with a tidy workbench.
I am a messy worker.
Yeah, okay, you're not the only one. I'm a messy worker too.
Yeah.
Then I know where everything is.
You know, the idea is everything should go back in its place, but
Yeah, but you're working. It's a working day. Exactly.
you're picking it up again.
Yeah.
Then you can't find it.
Yeah.
It went there, but it's over there for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Bob probably nicked it.
Oh, it just gets blamed sometimes. Yeah. So does everybody else.
Yeah. Okay.
You got that thing itchy.
Yeah. Okay.
I've tried many times, it just doesn't work. it ends up wherever it ends up.
Yeah. I know that packaging.
Yeah, so Garrett's just finished.
Oh, this is a beauty.
Thank you, guys.
This is the Darjeeling blue.
It is, yeah.
Okay, and then with the black chassis and the red cranks.
Yeah. That's that one.
I don't want to. There's no name on it. I don't know whether I.
Oh, that one's going out to America.
Oh, it's going to the US. Okay. Okay. Well, it seems to be a very, very popular option. I mean, you haven't released it that long. Perhaps a month. I think you put it out.
Just
About.
It was just a way to generate some new interest in that particular loco.
Yeah.
You know.
This is a tool.
Early days of Roundhouse, even the prototype models were sold, so we haven't really got a lot of the early examples. So there's a bit of a gap in some of the museum, but later years we were able to keep the prototypes examples. So later on we've got more.
Okay, so the later models, what you've got here on display are the prototype models.
Yes. So
Okay.
they would have been the first one produced to test the design, and then for subsequent, promotional usage, what people would have seen at the shows and stuff.
I'll just just get a close up of this one because I've got a friend who's just bought a second-hand one. So, okay.
So there's probably a few. These examples on here are probably unique. Sometimes they've got things on them that didn't make it to the final production. It's like our Garrett prototype has actually got drain cocks. Or just it's got. You can remove 2 screws to clear the cylinders.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was decided actually they're not needed because it drains itself pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So on the production models, it was never included.
Okay.
So it's stuff like that these old demos probably have on them that makes them a little unique from what's out in the world.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the double fairly down there, you mentioned.
Yeah. So this is the one that was in the film or something?
So this is one of our prototypes.
Oh, one of your
That's
prototypes, okay.
The one in the film would have actually gone out to a customer.
Yeah.
Because that was actually one of the production ones.
Yeah.
You still got enough space.
Yeah, it used to be a cabinet per loco. We then had ended up with not enough room, so they've had to go down to 2.
So you put the locomotive in this display once it goes out of production?
Yes, once it's discontinued. So just at the end of last year was the Davenport, which is down there.
Yeah.
Merseyside will be in here at the end of this year.
Okay. Okay. Well, you've got
And then,
1 or 2 that were really short. The production run was very, very small. Yeah.
so some of the locos, they last as long as people want them.
Yeah.
Eventually, demand for them just drops off.
Yeah.
And at that point, we revisit it and sort of say, right, well, we'll do one final run.
Yeah.
That usually gets in a few sales for it, a bit more over just to help complete it and finish it off.
Yeah.
And do one last run.
Okay, and there's the original Linda.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very
Is there a big difference between the old one and the new one?
So it's purely the newer one. All the batteries and RC components are on board. With the old one, the batteries and the receiver used to be carried in a tender, so the tender had to be sort of permanently coupled to it.
Okay.
As well as there being a few details on the newer one that's brought into scale a bit more than on the older one, but not a huge amount of differences. just because it was sort of already kind of where we wanted it.
Yeah. Okay.
Despite them throwing it in the
Okay,
river.
so this is the one that did the across, was it across Scotland or something, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
70 miles across Scotland.
Yeah. And it still works.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's got a pride of place at the back there.
It does. I think that's the one that's got the
Yeah, the extra.
They tried to do a bit of a rack and pinion system, but it didn't quite work. They didn't quite communicate how they were going to go about it, so
Yeah.
didn't get used in the end. But it was it's a little detail that
Okay.
made it to the telly.
And the Victoria, that was the first one, wasn't it?
Was that was our
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Sort of commercial production model.
Do you know how many of these were made? Because I've never seen one
I don't.
in the wild, let's say.
I've no idea.
No.
You see one occasionally, especially like the 16mm National Guerrero show. I think there was.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many are out in the world.
Okay.
Probably getting rarer.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. So that was the conclusion to the factory tour by Roundhouse Engineering. I'd like to thank Alex on behalf of myself and Johan for showing us around. If you're watching this video in May of 2024, you might be interested to know that the factory is actually having an open day on Sunday the 2nd of June. So if you want to have a look round and some of the rooms and spaces in the factory where Johan and myself just were, perhaps you can get yourself along to Doncaster on the Sunday 2nd of June. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this very long video. Bye bye now.